Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sales Remastered. My name is Daniel. I'm your host. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the psychology of internet leads, inbound leads, outbound leads. And this is something that's going to apply to each and every one because I get contacted a lot. You know, I have a designated email for inquiries. And so I get contacted by, loan officers, even people who are selling cars, and people not necessarily within my industry but are in sales. And I get a whole wealth of inquiries from mortgage loan officers, both new and seasoned. And I'm appreciative, I'm happy to give out information that can help others because I know how it is feeling helpless. I know exactly how it is to feel, frustrated, distraught, kind of, again, hopeless, just not knowing whether or not I'm doing the right thing. Right? Like, man, should I get out? Should I just go take this other job that has a nice salary? Should I just go do this? Should I follow my homie to this other shop? They're saying they can give me a guarantee. And so it's hard to make those decisions though, right? It's hard to turn something like that down. So if you're getting scouted by another company that's promising you a $20,000 and $10,000 bonus and it hits you at the right time meaning you yourself at the time of receiving this offer is paranoid and worried, frustrated, distraught, hopeless, and so sometimes that can really lure you down that path. And I want to reverse engineer, right? I want to help you avoid getting into that mind state. And how I see it fit, or how I see myself being able to do this, is slowly dripping out content that can help you. It can help you kind of turn that car around, right? To kind of turn your momentum around. And regardless if you're on a good one, if you're going through a slump, if you're stressed out, distraught, or hopeless, then I want you to know that you can literally overnight change your perspective and completely change the momentum. I want you to know that. And I know it sucks. You're like, Daniel, how the fuck am I going to do that? Fuck that, bro. I've been doing this for 100 years, whatever. And saying this just isn't going to end. I'm done with this, or whatever. I'm done with sales. And I want to tell you that I felt that way so many times in my life, where I was just like, dude, I'm done with this. I'm over it. And you know what happens is when you unplug, you forgive the game. Meaning that you unplug. It's kind of like when you get in an argument, if you're married with your spouse, or if you're dating with your other half, whatever. It could be even a argument with your parents or your friends. When you go through that experience and then you kind of unplug, or you walk away, or you take a 5-10 minute break and you kind of settle down, you realize that it really isn't as bad as you think, right? But in that moment, it is, because there's so many things anchored and attached to that concern. The concern of not doing well, the concern of not earning income, the concern of being sweated by your boss, the concern of being pressured by, your company, the concern of constant rigorous cycle of frustration. And so I get it, and I want to help you avoid that. So this is how. Understand that regardless of any lead, and the reason why I say, people contact me at that designated email, help@salesremastered.com, is because I'm seeing more and more inquiries about internet leads. Hey Daniel, you do a lot of training about inbound leads, but any specific inbound source that you would recommend? And of course, everyone has their opinion about inbound vendors, right? Like LendingTree, other inbound internet inquiries that deliver leads. There's some, even based out of the US that connect you, right? And so however you're getting your lead, however you're getting the person on the phone, I want us to stand back and realize that person on the phone is a qualified homeowner, or they qualified at some point to become a homeowner. And when we look at it as a hungry salesman, we look at it as a quick transaction, meaning if I can't close this guy, then damn, I'll get the next one, because there are a lot of fucking people on earth, right? So there's a lot of inquiries to buy, there's a lot of leads to buy, and if you're getting 4, 5, 6 leads a day, but you're thinking to yourself like, man, my leads are low, bro, you're getting 4, 5, 6 leads a day. If you're getting 2 leads a day, fucking consider yourself blessed. If you get 1 lead, bro, delivered to you, you know, I mean, of course, your employer has a fiduciary duty to deliver you data and leads, but at the same time, don't wait on that, right? Like think outside the box. Know that only a rare few, or only a select few, will have the cojones to actually dial out. Will have the desire, the tenacity, the courage to outbound dial. And I say courage because I'm not saying that if you don't do outbound dialing, you're scared. But what I'm saying is if you don't do outbound dialing, you're fucking scared. Meaning that you probably shouldn't be in sales, right? And take that how you want. But at the same time, I want you to really analyze your thought process, your mind state at the time of you not wanting to do an outbound call. I want you to remember that at some point you are paid an incentive to create a transaction. And it's not all about like, well, I'm only paid to, you know, close deals that come to me. Fuck that. I'm not going to outbound dial. Fuck that. You know, it's kind of like, it's very similar to, you know, the analogy that I use about not wanting to give your cell phone number, you know, to a prospect. You have to think outside the box. Don't just go according to the norm. Don't just think that someone you knew or know of does it this way, so that must be the right way to do it. You need to try things out. You need to, you know, there are top producers on my floor that sell a completely different way than I do. There are scripts that work that sound completely different than mine. And although those top producers may not share it with everyone because there's no incentivization, there's no incentive, right? Like they're just letting everyone else know the secret, and then now they got more competition, which I got hit up, by the way. Someone, you know, saw my page, hit me up on my Instagram feed, and they're like, dude, at first I was wondering, you know, like, why would you want to give all this information to help people be successful when ultimately they are your competitors? Meaning I'm helping someone, you know, learn how to sell, learn how to persuade, learn how to take business, and ultimately that means I'm giving up my market share. And it's funny because he then caught himself, he's all, hey, you know what, now I realize the reason why you're doing it is because only top producers actually will follow your channel. Only top producers, you know, who really want to win are going to follow the channel. Weak salespeople, weak people are always going to be weak for a reason. And it's because they simply do not take the time to study their craft. And when I say study your craft, bro, I'm not talking about go to a library for 9 hours on a Sunday and go look at the Rolodex of where the books are located. And you know what I mean? I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is designate a couple hours, you know, a week, if anything, to study your craft. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be, you know, objection training. It doesn't always have to be mindset training. It could be picking up a book, you know, like Jordan Belfort came out with this book. It's called Straight Line. And I got the book and the audio book. My manager got me the book. He got all of us the book. And it's a good book. I mean, audiobook's cool because I like his, you know, even though he's fucking some convicted felon, at the end of the day, his man did it. You know, he hustled. And he may have done it in the wrong way. And a lot of people have their own opinions about him. But I don't judge him. I'm not in a position to judge anybody. So what I look at is the pieces that got him successful. Because I believe that if he could have taken a, you know, a more legit route, he could have achieved the same success. It's because he understands that there's just a system to everything. Any company, any business, any organization you know of right now successful has their own system. And so the same thing applies to internet leads. Same thing applies to inbound, outbounds, fucking a mail lead. It all applies. There is a set system. And that system, if you really, really want to dummy it down, is that system is somebody out there is coming to you for a solution to a problem that they have. But here's the thing, is that we don't know this because how we hear it from consumers is, what's your lowest rate? Can I get it for free? Can you do it in 2.5 days? Right? This broker can give me this. What do you got? You know, and then we become whores to the price. We just go straight into negotiation. And what happens is when, you know, when we become rate whores and we become pricing junkies, you know, and you'll know this because anytime you get a request or you know, or a pitch, you're solely focusing around free service, you know, solely focusing around the absolute lowest rate. and you're having a lot of trouble. You may catch some sales here and there, but you're having more resistance than anything because you've already set that relationship up to be solely based on fees, right? It's kind of like, if you're at a strip club and you get a dancer and then you get feelings, right? And you're like, well, you want to call me after this? Of course they don't, bro. It's just business, right? Like they got a song like I fell in love with a stripper. And that's what he's talking about. You don't go in expecting something different if you've already set up this particular relationship in that particular way. And so if you go to a strip club and you pay somebody to give you a lap dance, it doesn't mean that now you guys are going to be dating because she likes you, right? Like you already knew going in. You already knew the atmosphere. You knew the name of the place. You knew the game. And you can't get caught by surprise and be like, oh, man, I thought she really liked me. Bro, that's business. That's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly what you walk right into. That's her sale. And she's hustling, right? Or he's hustling, whatever, your preference is, whatever your flavor is. And where I'm getting at is you have to understand the surrounding. You have to understand the scenery, if you will. And so if you're walking into a lead or you're getting connected to a lead, number one is know that person has a problem that they need a solution to, right? And you have that solution. If you want me to dummy it down even more, what you sell is not your product, your service, your rate, your fees. It's not the 30-year fix, 5-year fix, 7-year fix. What you sell is the result, right? And I used this in another video, and I caught this meme from Ryan Stewman. It said, people don't buy the hole, people don't buy the drill, they buy the hole. And I thought about that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's actually a great way to put it, in terms of people don't buy rate and fees, they buy the solution. They buy the logical explanation that you articulate to them through crafty wordplay, through the correct delivery, through the right way of persuading another to believe that you earn their business over the 9 other brokers that are in line knocking on their door. And so, just as I mentioned, everything has its own system, so does our prospects. And we can pick up what their system is. And when I'm talking about what their system is like their OS, their operating system. Meaning that each and every single lead type comes in with their own kind of predetermined software, if you will, right? And so when they come into scenery, regardless, like an internet lead is going to come in already just wanting to know information. An internet lead is already going to come in unknowingly getting 900 calls. And this internet lead more than likely will be transferred to me as a shock, meaning like, oh, I didn't expect to get so many calls. I just hit submit and my phone started blowing up. We have to expect that because this is a common thing. In other words, there's a system, and however creative you can get in terms of quickly relating to that prospect and positioning yourself to be different. When I say different, is understand your competition. If you don't understand how your competition is going after these people, then you don't understand, what you're going up against. It's kind of like working a weekend and you never even hearing the radio ad that your company is playing to give you the insight as to why everyone's calling you. It's always smart to look at it look at your situation with empathy and look at it through your prospect's point of view. Because if you're only looking at it through your point of view, then what you're doing is you're qualifying rather than helping. Meaning you are just looking for a sale. And that's what I meant earlier, is that when you look at things as just a sale, it's going to come out in your character, your body language, your tone. It's going to come out in the words that you use. And more importantly, you're going to notice, you may not notice, but your prospect's going to notice that once you figure out they qualify, or you got that cookie cutter shaped lead and it fits all the buckets and now they got value, now you got a potential sale, they're going to notice your attitude change, your tone change. And it's because you were never interested in helping them begin with. You were only interested in helping yourself get a sale. And that in itself radiates through your tonality. It radiates through your body language, through your eyes, through your wordplay. It radiates. I need you guys to understand that each and every single engagement has its own operation, has its own intent, has its own, I guess the energy, right? Like, and we have to understand where we sit And so if we sit in a position where we can be viewed as a consultant, where we can be viewed as a professional and not a salesman, not come through as someone who just wants to make a quick sale, be different from the rest of your competitors who sound like they just want to make a quick sale. Go above and beyond and provide value as opposed to just wanting to make a quick sale. So I hope you get the point. If this video helps, I'm about to go grab my coffee. I'm wishing you nothing but the best on this Friday, and I'll see you in the next video. Leave your comments, like, share, and check out the other channels. I'll leave links below this video. Check out my video yesterday. Some real deep techniques on the delivery of your pitch, and I'll get more hyper focused and more better at delivering this message. And I hope that the content that you've watched thus far, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out now on Facebook or YouTube, and watch this brand grow. Watch me actually transition from a beginner to intermediate, right? Like, I believe I'm almost at an intermediate level, and I'm not saying watch me be cool or anything like that. What I'm talking about is at the very beginning when I started this, which is almost a year. It's going to be a year on Valentine's Day this month. It'll be 1 year since I officially started the brand. And that's meaning that I was actually just getting into the mix of like how what kind of content to produce, how can I produce it, what platform should I use. That's when it started. And if you go to Facebook, you go to the original video on my Facebook feed. It was February 14th, and it was my sting. It was my video sting, and my quote was, "And so it begins." And from then on, my whole goal was to learn how to do it in a certain way, how to figure out this video platform, this video information. And you'll see that from the very beginning as I gradually grew, it was a lot of experimentation. And I want you to see that, because at some point you will too step out of your comfort zone. At some point you will too be exposed to an environment you're not fully sure with. You're probably exposed to that right now. And there's going to be a lot of temptations and fears pulling you back and saying, hey bro, maybe that's just not for you. There's going to be a lot of temptation of just saying, hey man, just quit it. You're not getting any response. It to some degree, to right now, I rely heavily on how many likes, how many hearts, how many double taps, how many comments. So I'm still in that phase, because I need to know from the audience of the value coming in, and I'm seeing a lot of comments, so I do see that there is value being here, but I'd like to know your opinion. So please leave your comment below or contact me, help@salesremastered.com. Let me know what issues you're having, and if I have the video, I'll send you over the link. If I don't, I'll produce it and get it out to you. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.